Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am sharing another Copic adventure. I kept it somehow simple for me, but that I will explain later on. But I'm featuring today my favorite things Abracadabra stamp set. And I must admit, this idea was the reason why I bought this stamp set. So yeah, what did I do? I die cut an A2 size panel using the basic rectangles from our elephants. Any basic rectangle will help, of course, and will work. And I stamped out this gorgeous image from the Abracadabra stamp set. Next, I drew in with some really almost invisible light. I drew in some sort of swirl, some sort of the magic that is coming out of the wand. And so I trace it first with my lightest marker from my combo that I thought I would be using. Later on I will add another lighter marker, but that's for later. So I did that. So normally I go from darkest to lightest. Now whenever I'm doing this Copic sort of getting out of my comfort zone coloring, I tend to just test the things out first with the lightest. Now I'm adding the darkest. And so I thought first let's do really against the edge on the left side, but as soon as we make that rounded, that curve, let's just go a bit further away from that edge. So that was the organic way of creating this swirl and just getting it to have different gradients of colors. Now this is a color combination that you already saw me using. It's a gorgeous one. It's a really dark and at the same time bright color combination using the RVs. So that's what I used, a color combination that I already know. If you have a yellow or a green or a blue combination that you really love, then definitely take that to create something like this. It will help. And then because I had a lot of area from this swirl on the right side, I already started flicking to help me with the blend, because these markers were great together, but they are not necessarily easy to blend. So that's why I did some flicking, with scribbling, with this marker already, and then with the other one I do a tip to tip. I didn't do that at the first go, but because I was still figuring out how this was going to work. But here I am going to do a tip to tip to help me with the transition between these two markers. So really careful going into that tiny area. I really wanted this swirl of magic to start really fine at the wand and then go bigger at the ends. Something that I thought on the go was also that this would be crazy impressive if you would do like a black background all around. But as I say, I sort of try to go outside of my comfort zone, but then again, I cannot lose track of the fact that it's still step by step whenever I'm trying something new. So here I was already really liking how it was turning out, but I had no clue how to tackle that darker background that would be really impressive as well. So I just decided not to do that. Having this amount of color peeking outside of that white cardstock, it's also really impressive. So I think definitely if you go outside of your comfort to try anything at all, that it's okay to just keep it at one step at a time and not do immediately the unthinkable or the things where you're so out of your comfort that you're just uncomfortable with it, you know? So that's why I kept it like this. I decided to add a few dots all around, and I don't know if it's now an added bonus or not. I don't dislike it, but I don't know if it really adds anything extra, you know? So it's an option to add it, but it's not like crazy things. If I was comfortable with my markers, maybe I would have added stars with these colors, but I ended up using a few white jelly roll pen elements to help me. Now I'm going to use the same colors for the accessories of the bear as I used in the magic. So that's also easy. I don't have to add crazy amounts of markers on top of what I already used. This is a way to still keep it clean and simple. And the simplicity of this card, aside from then the magic that is created, I think this actually helps also to let the magic stand out. And it really pops from the white. So that's why I still am pretty happy with the end result, but definitely know that there are so many ways to probably elevate this card even more, but one step at a time. So here I'm just doing my regular coloring. I'm going to add the shadows on the right side of the bear, and where there are some overlapping things, I'm trying to add it as well. And I'm just doing some flicking to help me immediately with the blend. You don't need to, but definitely if you have troubles with doing a blend in some markers that you have, a flicking method is always handy because it already gives you some wiggle room to add the next color there where you stop the flicking. So I'm playing a bit with the warm grays here for the suit, and then I will create a brown there to still have it a bit popping from the gray costume. So for the brown, I decided to go with my first brown combo that I had ever, being E18, E15, E33. And if I need another marker, there is always an option to add E53, but I just did it with these 3 markers. It's a really warm brown combination. And as you can see here, it sort of went wrong with the E15. My marker was dried up. I have a refill, so I quickly refilled it. But definitely I need to check it out because I watched the video and I cannot recall it. It's really stupid that I cannot recall it, but I watched a video from someone that showed the 3 or 4 possibilities why your marker is drying out. And one of them was also that there could be like a tiny crease in your cap, not necessarily on the outside, but also on the inside where the nib is. There can also be a crease, and that can also be the reason why your marker is drying out. And I saw a tiny crease there, and so I'm a bit worried because my cap is like not okay. So even if I refill it, it can be that next time it's again the same strange texture of my nib, and changing the nib is not really the solution because the nib, well, the cap is just gone, you know. So I will definitely watch out there whenever I'm using that E15 again, because it might just ruin everything. So here, as I said first, I thought that my R81 was going to be my lightest. Just to help a bit more with the transition towards the white of my cardstock, I decided to add this RV000 on the edges of my, well, shall we just call it the magic. Then on the top there, you can see that the marker sort of started bleeding from that rounded circle that I had. No issues, I just used my colorless blender. I went around it again with the RV000. And then later on, I decided to add also some white jelly roll pen details. So therefore, I'm just going to add another dot next to that one that was just a bit bleeding. And then a few stars. I didn't go overboard. I just wanted it to have a bit more than just this. So I just added it. The white jelly roll pen in my Copic adventures have been really a blessing. I don't know why, but I definitely like it because it also breaks up a bit of the coloring. So if you have an area where you're unsure about, then definitely try maybe to add a white jelly roll pen over there because it can truly be a lifesaver. So here and there I'm adding a dot, I'm adding a star, just to represent the magic as well. And then that's it. Really simple. I'm going to add a sentiment, and I just tested out where or what I was going to add. I just placed the bear over there, and then I had to figure out all the rest. So I decided to take the sentiment, "You never cease to amaze me." It's such a gorgeous sentiment, and I think with the magic coming out of the one, that it's quite nice. It's like it was made for it. So I'm just simply adding that where you have a bit more space underneath the arm and such, so that it all belongs together, although it's a simple card. And then I'm adding this panel on top of a card base. And you can add more things if you want to, but as I said, clean and simple card, just a step outside of my comfort zone, and I'm really glad that I tried it. I hope that somehow this video can help you as well, maybe stepping out of your comfort, maybe making something similar. I'm not an expert, so I definitely believe that anything that I share here, you can do too. I definitely believe that, and I hope truly that you will test or try something out like this. I want to thank you all for stopping by and taking your time, and I hope to see you next time again. Bye!